Americans are used to seeing Indian symbols in sports, but for some Native Americans, these are offensive to their heritage. Tonight, John Pepitone reports on an effort to change that in the community of Milton.
The Milton High School football team has a strong winning tradition. State champions twice in the last 5 years, these players are proud to be known as the Red Men.
That represents a warrior going out and fighting and kicking some butt, and I guess that's what we like to do.
But Carol Hand is not proud of that. As a Native American resident here, she finds use of the word Red Men and the school's mascot degrading.
Red Men is a real demeaning term to American Indian people, and we exist today. And if anyone has the right to use Indian symbols, it's the Menominees or the Oneidas or the Chippewas or the Winnebagos or the many other tribes in this country. It isn't white school districts that have a right to take away the heritage of American Indian people.
But now the school district is forming a special committee to determine whether the Redman name and symbol are appropriate. School officials say the name Redman was not intended to be racist, but they hope the community can learn by better understanding minority concerns.
Times have changed. I think maybe taking a look at this and using it as a way to better understand cultural differences might be good for everybody.
The school has already phased out the Indian symbol from much of its material in favor of what officials call a more dignified drawing. But Platt says it will be difficult to convince most townspeople to stop calling Milton teams the Red Men. John Pepitone, News Scene 15, Milton.
The Milton High School Redmen are thinking long and hard about their logo these days because the nickname and the mascot are offensive to a Native American living in Milton. Carol Hand wants both changed. But News 3's Rock County reporter Dave Mosner says students may not agree.
Winning it all last fall was one of the Milton Redmen's proudest moments. Moments still remembered in Redmen country, but now the mascot that led the team to victory and the team's name are at the core of a debate about the image they portray.
Redmen mascot is not meant to be derogatory towards anyone or anything.
Being part Indian, I'm kind of proud of what it stands for, and I mean, Indians are known as warriors.
Over the years, Milton has changed how it uses the mascot, like removing it from class rings and diplomas because the mascot was considered inappropriate. But never before has the school's name or mascot been called racially insensitive.
Someone has now said very sincerely and with a lot of sensitivity that it is taken that way means it needs to be addressed.
The issue has started students thinking about their school's nickname and whether it's derogatory or not. Most want the name Redmen to stay, but agree something could be done to the mascot.
Is somewhat of a cartoon character that really doesn't display the Indian in a real positive way. Maybe if there was a more dignified looking Indian, it would be a better representation of our school.
But that's not enough for the woman who brought the issue to the forefront.
And we really are perpetuating a stereotype of Indians as warlike, as somehow less than human or extinct and no longer in existence.
Whatever the outcome, some say just the discussion about the issue has been worthwhile. Dave Mosner, WISC News 3, Milton.
Now a committee including school board members, students, and citizens will start talking about the Milton Redmen and its mascot next month.
There are about 60 schools in Wisconsin that use Indians as nicknames. For instance, in Milton, their mascot is known as the Red Man. Now, as Dave Huddleston tells us, at least one woman is trying to change that. As for speaking out, she's paying the price.
As these Milton High School students play badminton, high above their heads is a symbol many of them regard with respect and pride. That symbol is this Indian man. He's also down the hall and marks the entrance into the principal's office. With his tomahawk in hand and wide-eyed, this symbol also represents to some a blatant and accepted form of racism. Because of these conflicting opinions, Milton High has become a battleground.
This Indian logo has been a part of Milton High history since 1964, and according to the principal here, removing this caricature will be pretty tough. He says it's a part of tradition.
There was never any, from the very onset, intention of minimizing the significance of the American Indian or in any way a put down thereof, be it the Redmond nickname or the logo.
But it is a put down, according to Carol Hand. Carol, a Native American, says we could never get away with saying the Kansas City Jews, so what makes this any different?
It is a racist remark. It perpetuates stereotypes based on one's racial heritage.
But Tom says they've tried to make changes, like using this more stoic-looking Indian for official use. He says they have no idea what Carol thinks about these changes because she hasn't been in contact with them. Carol says this is why she hasn't attended any school board meetings. These are messages left on her answering machine.
Put out of town, you Indian bitch. Carol, you mother bitch. Get the out of town, you whore.
I get calls at 7:30 in the morning.
Until temperatures cool down, Carol says she'll take her forum elsewhere, like talking to these UW-Madison students on how to be sensitive to different cultures, since, she says, other students may already be desensitized. Dave Huddleston, 27 Eyewitness News at 6.
A footnote to the story: even though Milton is using the stoic Indian on official stationery, Principal Kempinen says he doesn't think they'll remove the caricature.